Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Ian Utilli. I'm one of the co-producers at NFT NYC, and I'm here with Todd from Monte Killa. Todd, thanks for joining me.
What's up? What's up, YouTube world?
Exactly. Now, YouTube, you get to watch our conversation, but this is about me and Todd. I want to get to know you and what you're working on. So can you introduce yourself and Monte Killa to me, and then we'll talk a bit about community and tech and the future.
My name is Todd Mondesi. I'm a comedian, professional comedian, and producer and content creator and director. And I've created a web series called PN and Friends, which is a very funny series. It has a lot of critical acclaim and stuff. And I've connected it with, I've spawned an NFT project in connection with it called the PN NFTs, which I've used to expand the story more with the mythology. And also we're using to use for crowdfunding to fund the next level, next iteration of the show when we go to a bigger level, and also use it as like promotion sort of. But we also use it to reward our first fans, where we give them like ongoing value, not just, figuratively, but like with the whole, like, say if we blow up, which we will, because look, just
Obviously.
look at that. That's just like, that's not even an NFT yet. That's just like one of our future cover photos for the next episode on YouTube. So we've got the whole thing there. And basically, we're also creating physicals, like trading cards connected to the NFTs. So if you buy an NFT, you'll get like a physical gift, and ongoing. So even if you buy a prior PN NFT, you'll also get like a gift from like the recent drop, because we'll make like limited, we'll make like a small surplus. So even if you buy early, you'll still get ongoing value, like at least. So we're treating it almost like as a fan club as well, where it's like, oh, cool, I got like a comic book from this drop, but since I didn't buy it from that drop, I still got it because I have that old, the prior token. You know what I'm saying? So we're creating it. It's cool because we're creating like IP, which is cool, and also we're expanding mythology. Like we're treating it like comic books. So it's like we could introduce new characters and stuff. People go, oh, what's that? Like, is that AIPN? Is that like the character as like a robot? What's going on there? And when we use that to like in the future where we have an actual budget or like on TV and introduce that character, you would have that NFT of like the first appearance of that. Because, so.
Well, you are very engaging. Like, I'm ready to just join your team.
Yeah. It's the beard. I haven't shaved because I've been busy editing and like collaborating with my artists to do NFTs. So I'm just like,
Let's talk a bit about community. Where does community play into your focus when you think about doing comedy, doing comics, doing NFTs, doing art, doing all this different development? How do you focus on cultivating a community that's excited and on board and wants to collect these things and wants to be a part of what you're developing?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I've never been a follower. Like, even when I've tried to follow, it doesn't work, because I'm just too weird or just too on my own thing. So, but what I've always been doing was like, I've created like my own little, not cliques, but like my own little scenes. Like I'll create, like, for example, when I started out when I was 17 years old, I just, I was like an awkward, like high school teenager, so just like trying to go into like a bigger clique, a bigger, with the general world of like stand up. I was like, I don't know how to do this. So I started my own shows and stuff, like, even shows in like cafes or like bars and stuff. And then once I did regular shows, like friends of mine would be like, oh, it's a free show. Yeah, I'll check it out on a Wednesday if it's free. I have nothing to do. And then they tell their friends and their friends, and then we like build a community. And like, I've always used that sort of template to like expand. When I had the web series, so first of all, like I had I was early in YouTube. I used to do like YouTube videos, and then like weekly, and we were getting some traction, but then I got jumped and hit by a truck because, I'm in the hood. I live in the hood. I grew up in the hood. That's what happens, born in, that Will Smith song, Fresh Prince, it's not, no lies there. So, and then that interrupted me, and I was kind of like down and depressed. But then I had this idea for PN where like, like a Charlie Brown character and stuff. And I riffed with my friend about it. And then like, we just wrote like a script for it. And then we shot, like, we couldn't afford to shoot that script. So we made like a short, and that like spawned it to get into like a film festival. And years later, you know, when I picked up on the project again, because like I had some traction being on HBO's Crashing, I said, you know what, screw it. I tried to explain it to like a manager, and she didn't get what the heck was going on because it was just too much like comic booky. It wasn't derivative, so they couldn't get it, you know, even though it's like it made fun of tropes and it fit that comic booky tropes like style, because like duh. I mean, I'm, you know, but so it made me like develop it myself. And because like I did that, people who are into it, like my friends, they told their friends, people who are into like our satire, because like we incorporate Cameo to bring in celebrities into our show, you know, because it's very camera facing, because it's like a vlogcast, the main character and stuff.
Yeah.
So we bring in like celebrities like Scaramucci. Rudy Giuliani is going to be in our next episode because we got him on Cameo, which is going to be hilarious. And so basically, we foster community there, where like basically, you know, I'm a pop culture nerd. You know, I'm a pro wrestling fan, comic book fan. I love mythology. I love like classic sitcoms. So I figured, let me just put that all in one boat, all my interests in one boat. And when you do that, you know, let's bits and pieces of that community will come together and be like, oh yeah, I'm into that. I'm into that aspect. Let me explore the other aspects of it. And that's what happened. And that what led me to NFTs too, because like, you know, the pandemic happened. There wasn't comedy going on, like traditional like stand-up shows. So we had to rethink like how we're going to, you know, function as society. And I just said, screw it. Let me just like put all my crazy ideas in this web series. Let me go for it. Let me use this pandemic and critique it. Cause like, what else am I gonna do? And that expanded like my story. Cause now it's like, oh great, this feels like a weird alternate universe. Let me bring in alternate universe like comic booky elements, you know? So like the main character has like a shadow evil character that's trying to take him down, like, you know, that type of like those fun tropes. And then when I heard about NFTs, like once I got into crypto and stuff, well, crypto again, I got into Bitcoin randomly. I got paid for a job in Bitcoin, and I was just like, what is this? And then it was like $50 like years ago, right? $50, which would be like, I don't even want to think about it. I sold it a month later because it was like, oh, it's $100, great, I'll get a Metro card, right? And I just forgot about it. And then like once, you know, things, the pandemic happened, and I was just like, you know what, I got to rethink everything. And like, and then I had friends like, oh, dude. And then I just saw the big picture that like, this is one world now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know people are like, oh, the new world. It is what it is. Technology's fast. And that makes sense because money has to be like fast as well, just like technology. You can't wait like 2-3 days to receive a, you know what I'm saying? Like now it's
Totally.
like boom, boom, boom. So I got into that. Then I heard about NFTs, and at first I was like skeptical because I'm like, why would you buy a JPEG? But then when I was explained the utility aspect, right? I think it was maybe one of Gary Vee's like early videos about it, with the
Yeah.
utility aspect and the royalty aspect. Then I was like, oh, that makes sense. They use the ledger of the blockchain to authorize and authenticate these like tokens, like just like comic books. Like
Right.
that's what I saw. It was like comic books where it's like, oh, you buy a comic book, you get the authentic, you know, seal. Instead of having a signature, like an actual physical signature, you have it on the blockchain. So I could pick up something from like Stan Lee, you know, that said Stan Lee created this, and I could have that token without like all the, you know, and also it's not going to degrade because having a physical, you have to take care of it. You have to like, and who knows? Like I have a friend who's like a big comic book fan. There's like the flood from the Hurricane Ida in New York, like from the rains, and he lost a bunch of his like collectibles because, you
Right.
know,
I
and
mean,
he's in
like
it.
this shirt, this shirt fades.
Right,
This shirt will eventually fall apart, but the
right.
NFT for this shirt, it is always protected.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so Todd, thanks. I appreciate you jumping in and joining us. You're the type of guy I could engage with and do the long, several
Yeah.
hour Joe Rogan conversation. But we want to keep
Aliens, bro.
exactly. We want to keep things short and shareable. So I just want to thank you for jumping in. For anybody that watched our interview, thanks for your attention. I'll be back again with another one of these. Todd, any final words before we end the live stream?
Check out my show, PN and Friends, on YouTube at Monte Vision. Also, the website, pnisawesome.com, that has all the info about PN and Friends. It looks like penis awesome, but without the E. So That's part of the joke in the show. Don't worry about it. It's great. It's deliberate. PN is awesome.com. Check it out. All the info about the show. And yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna do our next drop during my speaking engagement on the NFT NYC. It's gonna be really weird and like innovative and like it's gonna be dope. So check that out. Once I get the date,
Good.
you know, I'll let you guys
Hey,
know.
everybody, you know what to do. You know what to do. Todd gave you the call to action. So
Yeah,
let's show up for him.
This is
All right, my
it. This is
friend.
my life purpose. NFTs. Okay.
I love it. Okay. I'll see you in New York.